gonna put it on.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should share it on Twitter too.
If you want to do Twitter, I'm on Discord. I'll just do it on
Okay.
chat and news. No, I'll do it on the announcements.
There you go. We're still learning all of this stuff. It's so idiotic. Okay, so hey all, we're live to discuss. Doing
Let's
this
see.
on
There we go.
Twitter.
Yep.
This
I mean, I have it here too. I can go on Twitter.
cuss.
Let's see.
I'm already putting it up. Do do freelancer finance account if you're not
Yeah,
logged
yeah.
in mine Tesla and Enphase. Okay.
There we go. Done.
Okay. I think we are live now. Let me see.
It's yeah, we're live.
Show. Okay, cool. And you put on the Discord?
I did. I wrote it earlier that we were going to do this in 45, but like no, there was no response. It's also Friday at 9 o'clock.
Wait, why
by
is,
you.
this is how good we are. It shows StreamYard. If you look at the thing, let me
That's where our comments are top.
Okay, so here we are. We're finally doing it. Two boomers discussing. Oh yeah, right. I got this. That's
Happy Friday, man.
Oh, there you go. I gotta go all the way in.
Boom. You know, I was thinking about this. I was like, you know, you and I have a strange like friendship because it's not based on like drinking, hanging out, partying. We haven't done that.
We did party
No, but like
once.
really
Remember? And
little,
then I took
really
one.
little.
I can't admit to it. I'm done.
No, but
On
that
the
was
internet.
that day that we met up was because we hadn't seen each other in forever. We're like, yo, why don't we get together? Like Vico was in town, Tully was in town, and you came by and you took one hit, done.
Johnny's already telling us to shut up. Already?
Johnny?
We just started, Johnny.
Hold on, I gotta pull up the YouTube.
Oh man, 2 minutes in, he's already telling us on our own channel to shut up.
already. It's just like the Discord, but live.
Yeah. How do I show these comments coming in? I don't even know how to do that. Man, we're learning everything. We're not as good as
Admit. No, but you have to look at
doing
it
this.
on the it's like it's the comments. I think he's watching on YouTube. So
Yeah.
he is. It's weird. The comments are not showing up on the StreamYard.
Yeah, I have no idea how this works. But anyway, we're live. I'm putting this on Discord, and we're gonna talk about Tesla, and we're gonna talk about Enphase, and the two topics are
Why don't we poll the viewer and see? Why don't we poll all of our viewer and see what should we talk about first? Should we talk about Enphase whack ass ads and what they could do to be better, or should we talk about Tesla and how the Bears have lost?
I think Johnny, our viewer, has left.
And then Johnny's like, "Goodbye, guys."
We just got to start, and if people join, that they join. If they don't, then it's our private conversation.
Well, if you want to share, like, look at this. I'll send you a link right now. Look at this nonsense.
You can share it, right? Or I don't even know. Present.
Let me
Present.
Present. Share screen.
You can see how often we go live. That.
Yeah, I want to share this. Can you see this? See, but I can't see it.
Oh yeah, no, I could add to stream. There you go.
Ah, there we go.
It shows.
I wanted to look at. I mean, this is this is Enphase's page. See, but I can't see.
No, you're showing right now Twitter.
And that's what I want. Oh, it's this tab. Hold on. I'm not really a fan of that. Let me see. Does this show up? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
guys,
see how
this podcast is two boomers learning how to use the internet.
Yeah, and we're drinking.
There you go. Friday night.
Friday. Well, it is my birthday tomorrow, so I'm technically
happy birthday.
Going
happy pre-birthday.
Right, happy pre, yeah, it's pre. So I'm going. I finished my job. I'm off work for at least 2 weeks. So.
Oh wow, 2 weeks. Nice.
Yeah, I don't want it to be too long, but I'll take it.
Okay, so what are you showing? We're talking about Enphase before Tesla earnings. Okay.
Yeah, we just. I mean, if you want to talk to Tesla, we can. I think we did like 30 minutes on each.
Sure.
Let's do this. Because I forgot who originally brought this up. I think it was Sonny Coates.
Yeah, Sonny was
particularly
pissed at their advertising.
I mean, look, I don't disagree with him. It wasn't when he mentioned that, I looked it up and I was like, how bad could it be? Like, okay, my background is in promotion and marketing, and I have to look at this, and it's horrendous. This is not power your space heater with the best heater in space. I mean, if this is from the mind of the person that developed some of the greatest ads for Apple, something is seriously wrong. This is just not the way that you would promote or that you would want to promote something like Enphase. And if you look, what's funny is, okay, this one has 8 likes, 700 like, most of them have 5 likes, and it's probably like the same 5 people. Like, I can't see who it is, but most of it looks like it has the same. Yeah, another 5 likes. Enphase Energy. Okay, you have 6 likes on this.
Well, why don't you go to the Discord and show the actual? I think who posted the ads? It was Johnny.
Sunny.
I think Johnny posted the ads.
It was Sunny and Johnny.
Right, but Johnny had like he littered the stream with like 10 different ads on that Enphase has, and they were sort of ridiculous. I didn't know their advertising was this bad, actually.
Here, let's go present
Discord. Yes.
Oh, that's weird. I can't see this one.
Yep,
Okay.
that's streamed. There you go.
Perfect. All right. So there you see it. This was a while back. I think
all the way up. All the way up, I think, right? So what we're talking about here is basically, who's never not following Enphase closely, they have a marketing department, advertising department, and apparently this person sucks. Okay, apparently
that's putting it mildly. I mean, especially
this is the person who you would think would be good. Bring her up, but you actually were just past. No,
I know, but I want to go back to the original. This was it.
There you go. These are all the ads.
Here we go. These are like their ads. I mean, I don't know if you want to call these.
Start at the beginning. Start right there.
This is like their social media thing.
No, you passed it. You just passed it.
I know, but I want to go back to what originally sparked it was, this was the conversation. We were talking about how Tesla promotes versus how Enphase promotes.
Right.
Yeah, and this was where was Sunny?
I mean, just show the ads. I don't know about the comments. There was too many comments.
Let me see. Yeah, here it is. He was saying new ad campaign slide come into focus. These sun postings on social media. Here we go. Happy Lunar New Year to all who celebrate. It's your time to shine, little buddy, sun. Happy Lunar New Year to all who celebrate. Okay, fine. It's a pun on the Lunar New Year. And that started a thread about.
Well, hold on. I mean, you can start. Who is this talking to?
What do you mean?
Is this an audience? Is this an audience of one, the sun? I don't know.
I'm saying you can give them a pass because it's Lunar New Year. Okay, maybe you can just put that one. But then Johnny Boy posted all the other ones, and they're all just like really whack. They look like magazine ads, like that you'd see in like the dentist's office waiting room. What do we got here? Yeah, look at this stuff.
Turner says, "Happy birthday, Carlos." There you go. We had a couple people. Amit is even on. Enphase going bankrupt. Due
to this nonsense.
I don't think so. Amit. If anyone's going bankrupt, it's definitely Palantir.
No, it's going to be Amit.
Oh yeah, if anyone's going bankrupt, it's Amit.
It's going to be Amit.
Yeah, that's true. Palantir will survive. Amit will go bankrupt. Yeah. That's not good though. He's taking my cash with him. All right. But yeah, show this one. Show all 10. Let's go through them because we got 30 minutes to kill here on showing shitty Enphase ads.
All right.
So we'll click it today. Today's summer solstice, best day ever.
Best day ever.
So
don't let good photons go to waste.
See you on the flip side, says the sun.
Did you really think a cloud would stop me?
So all right, we got to think about like, why are they doing this and who are they appealing to? Because me and you have discussed this at length, that the installer is really the client, right? They want to have brand awareness. That's obvious maybe from this, but the installer is the client. So this can't be aimed at the installer. This just has to be just pure brand awareness, but terrible brand awareness.
Is that really brand awareness? I mean, if you're pitching to the installers, wouldn't you want to show, if you're pitching just to installers, wouldn't you want to show like an installer sitting at home comfortable because he doesn't have to go out and do any service calls? And you got another company that's up on a roof in the middle of a storm, right? Trying to fix something. Like that's how you would show that this product makes the installer's life easier. Or you show the interaction with another.
Or like showing your system working between, like, meaning your battery system versus your microinverters versus like show something that's informative to the customer, which could be me, by the way, and to the installer at the same time. But I think this is just like where are these ads? First of all, is this just like
This is all
on Twitter?
This is all on Twitter. I mean, some of this actually looks like LinkedIn. I don't know because of
Imagine this is print. Imagine
that's what it
this.
looks like. Honestly, it looks like a magazine ad. It looks like something you'd see in like Popular Science or something. But
Yeah, I want to
well, why
speak to
not?
Badri. Let's speak to Badri. And who's the woman who's in charge of these ads? Can you go to
We'll look at
her?
her. Yeah, she's a nightmare. Well, she's got she comes from a great background, but like, why not have if you've got a massive like when they say like oh hey we just installed a massive 200 kilowatt hour system. Where's the drone flyover
Right.
of that system? Where's that thing flying over? And then you have stats that show this thing is generating this many watts of power, and you show it the overhead view of the map, and you just show that. I mean, instead of saying, yes, you still need sunscreen. Come on, man.
Well, yeah, there has to be something more interesting. And so this is to Sunny Coates. Thanks for posting this, making us aware of this problem. And I think, Johnny, I think you were defending.
He was defending.
You did post those ads, which were dumb. So you must see how dumb they are. But I'm not sure why you're defending Enphase for doing these ads. I don't get it.
Because my point was basically no one putting these ads together seems to be asking the question, who are we marketing to? And the idea of personifying the sun in a humorous way appeals to exactly 0 people. And then he writes, and then Johnny Boy answers with the person who's the chief product officer at Enphase. Who's this? No, Allison Johnson.
Yeah, bring her up.
Allison Johnson joined Enphase in 2021 as chief marketing officer, bringing decades of executive marketing experience, building some of the world's most valuable brands. Prior to joining Enphase, Allison served as chief marketing officer at PayPal, where she led a global marketing transformation. She was the founder and managing director of West, a hybrid marketing and venture capital studio, where she launched and scaled companies such as Twitter, Square, Braintree Venmo, Impossible Foods, and GoFundMe. She served as vice president of marketing communications at Apple, where she led marketing for some of Apple's most iconic products and campaigns of the Steve Jobs era.
So hold on. It says marketing communications. She wasn't in charge of the ads, which Apple kills in ads.
Yeah, but that's what this stuff is. This is marketing communication. An ad is something different where they're actually selling you the product. They're not selling you the product. It's like you were saying. It's more like brand awareness.
Right. So I don't know. Well, okay. So maybe, I don't know. We really have to dig deeper because maybe she was fired for rolling some of this.
I mean, but the point is she's somewhat involved in these. It's not like she's just a passerby. She's somewhat involved. And it's funny. Enphase does really well, but you could imagine how well they would do if they had that cool factor. Like, look, say what you want about Palantir. And I think it's a shit company, but
let me kill this. How do I get rid of this shit?
Oh yeah, kill the sharing.
There you go.
I think it's a crap company and a crap investment. But their marketing, the way that they market and the way that they communicate with their retail investors, you have to give them credit for that.
Wait, you're saying Carp is communicating well with the retail investors? Is this what you're saying?
No, I'm not. Carp isn't communicating with me, but the communication that Carp and Palantir in general has with their retail investors, you can't deny that they effectively use social media. Even though we're not happy with the content, they effectively use social media to keep their brand in the conversation.
I don't know. I don't know if they do that well too. In fact, if it wasn't for like channels like Amit and even Tom, who was pushing them, I don't think they would have good communications at all. It's sort of like they have people behind that are helping get the message.
But even aside from that, every time I open Twitter, I get something on Palantir. Some sort of something on Palantir every time I open
we get
YouTube.
Nothing from Enphase. That's what you're
I don't
saying.
get anything from Enphase. And I'm saying this is aside from what I see, say from Amit or Tom in my feed. I see things that are from Palantir, like Palantir. I don't know, during the holidays, he'll have a message to people.
Oh, Palantir partners with Microsoft. Palantir partners with whatever.
Every day there's something. There's some freaking.
I see what you're saying.
That's why Amit or Tom can build a channel off Palantir. There's always this something in the news happening. Right. And you could argue that Enphase could do the same thing. There's a lot to talk about in this space.
I think it goes back to that Enphase is back, like we keep talking about. It's mostly for installers to pick for themselves too, besides the client. So I think Enphase is banking on not the sexiness factor. I'm hearing my echo, by the way, in your speakers, but we got to put on some headphones. I'm hearing some echo.
How about now?
Check. Okay. No, it's still there. It's kind of annoying. But basically, Enphase is banking on the fact that an installer is going to pick a better product for them and have less truck rolls, as we keep going back to. and not try to make their lives harder. And if you think about it, like we didn't look at this, but what is Solar Edge's marketing? Is it just as bad? I don't know. Is
Let's take
Solar
a
Edge
look.
doing something similar?
I mean, let me take a
And
look.
there's only
It's
two players. So once again, it's like I think for Palantir they have multiple AI companies they're competing with against big players like even Microsoft, right? That's competition for Palantir. For Enphase, who's the competition? It's only one company, really, Solar Edge. And I know there's some small players everybody can talk about, but really it's two companies. So I'm wondering if they have the we're the only game in town mentality, which is bad, by the way. That's not good to have.
I mean, did Amazon stop? Does Amazon stop? Does Facebook or Google? You just have to keep, the idea of the second place. You need a telescope to see you. You can continue to extend your lead.
Yeah,
there really is no
and they could
doesn't
take the
do is-
Elon model where you don't spend a lot of money, but you just do cool shit. Like you have those flyovers.
Yeah,
You show new systems going up in cool places. Like, yeah, they could totally spin it a different way as opposed to talking to the sun and how it's not cloudy today.
it's
You
so
know,
dumb. It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
All right, so I think some
Solar
people are saying something. Let me see.
me
Oh,
see.
they're talking about Palantir, so forget that.
Oh, because I started trash talking Palantir. I got you a cake.
Well, let me see if anything's important here. Besides happy birthday, all Turner says all these are all quotes by the sun. Yeah, the sun is quoting them. Yes, that is true.
Yeah. The Sun was. We had an exclusive interview with.
Johnny
She created
redacted
the
a
Apple- Okay,
message.
so Johnny's saying she created that Apple PC. I'm a Mac. I'm a PC.
Oh, that's
That
pretty
was
good.
Listen.
Okay.
That was brilliant marketing.
That
on
was
the part of-
brilliant. If
on
she
the
did
part of
that,
Apple.
that's amazing. So I'm not sure what's going on here.
She might be honestly. She might be getting overruled. She might be getting overruled.
Or maybe it takes time to ramp up. So you get hired, and then for the first thing to do is to go through everything before you start making big waves. So I don't know.
Dude, like if you and I were hired to do like a great Enphase spot, you buy the drone, right? You do the cool flyover, you get some cool music, and then you show the advantages of that. It's actually not that hard. And look, to your point, even though Enphase is selling to, and even though Enphase is selling to installers, there's still something to be said about capturing capturing the attention of the general public, who can then ask for your product. And they're not just selling inverters anymore. They want to expand, and they want to be
Batteries,
like EV charging and batteries. Get people's name out there, because that battery. Look, you don't see the inverters, but you see the battery. Like
I think the whole push should be basically energy prices. And I said this in the Discord that we have. I said energy prices are big, like basically locking in your energy prices for the next forever, just locking it in. So you don't have to worry about energy prices going up. That's a big selling point just financially to people.
Yeah.
Like if you tell people they don't have to have any more oil changes, your car's super fast, it looks good. Like if you give them all the benefits, they're like, really? Okay, let me think about this. If they actually get the benefits that are happening.
But and also we're 27 days into the Inflation Reduction Act. You've got till March
right?
to
Well,
lock
that's what
in.
I'm saying, right? 30%.
You have 2 months to lock in this incredible incentive.
Oh, that should be the ad, right? 30%.
Plastering the internet with Act Now, save 30%, whatever the hell is. Summer's coming, right? You're about to use more energy. It's a no-brainer.
And also, someone actually, an installer, did this commercial. It's not even a commercial. It could have been the guy we interviewed. What was his name again?
Which guy?
Dave. Remember Dave?
Oh, yeah, Dave.
So we interviewed Dave, an installer. We'll try to include a link sometime later somewhere here in the bottom. But he has a video on his channel where basically he drives to a neighborhood that the power goes out and all that's running is Enphase microinverters. Is that not a commercial in itself? Like Enphase, wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were talking about that on Discord. All you got to do is show a family, show a winter storm outside, and then show a family sleeping.
In Texas.
Yeah, in Texas. Yeah, a family in Texas with with the Ford F-150 sitting outside, and everyone's inside sleeping, the baby's sleeping nice, and they don't even know that there's a storm outside. Why?
Because the heat is on. Battery, you can see the heat is on.
Everything's
the
working.
Dad turns the thermostat higher, right?
Yeah, and it's like, let's go to bed. And in the background, you hear see CNN and Don Lemon with the end of the world.
And then the camera goes outside and shows pitch blackness everywhere. I mean,
it's not that hard to shoot. And
Badri, we just gave you this. Okay, this is free,
man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's social media messaging.
Still, it's pretty bad.
Amit's trying to troll us by saying that we'd rather buy a solar panel company over Palantir.
I think we have to block this guy. How do you block?
He's just getting.
How do you hide user from channel? All right, what else do we have? These guys want to buy a solar company. Yeah, okay. It's not a solar company. We keep talking about that. And
I know they're not just a solar company. Tesla's not just an energy or an EV company.
all right, Dylan says, "Hey there, Vitaly Nash." Yeah, that's funny. That is my name. And Johnny says they can launch a campaign from this messaging. Their commercials. What did they say? Their commercials on their site are awesome. Okay, I don't know about that.
The commercials on
Um,
Enphase's site.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
but by
bring
the
up. You want to bring up their site? Let's see what their commercials are.
fine, we can look it up. But by the time you've gotten to their site, you've already captured that person, right? Like that has to do with
Unless you're
like
doing research of some sort. But still, you're right. Like we need the commercials on Twitter or wherever they're advertising to be a little bit sexier. And it's not a problem now because I feel like there's only two players. But as this market does get bigger, just like any market, there are going to be other players. And I'm not saying I stopped believing in Enphase, but there's going to be other players that are good. They're going to give Enphase a run for their money, and Enphase should just stick out better with their commercial too, in terms of their people skills, basically, right? Why should we choose them?
yeah.
Like I had to do a lot of research, by the way, in order to pick Enphase. And then I told you, and then I told another friend. But are they going to count on me going around the country trying to
I think
do
they
that?
are. Honestly, I think they are. I think you need to be to Enphase what Mitt is to Palantir. And
Yeah,
at
I don't
some
want to
point,
do
just get on
that.
the
I don't
payroll,
want to
dude.
do that. I just
Just
want
get
to
on the
make
payroll.
bank. All right. I want them to succeed, of course, because I'm heavily invested in them. But they have to up their game in this. This is important. I think long term, this is actually very important. And Apple
This
gets
is
it.
of utmost
Yeah,
importance because
Apple has
that's where
sexy
you grow.
commercials, dude. Right? Like that PC Mac thing was genius. I agree. If that's the woman behind it,
Or
we need.
even that video that was on the Discord that Tesla posted about their cars, about
Yeah,
just the speed and what I mean. That's an amazing brand image video, and all you're really doing is showing the product. You're not lying to your
right.
audience. You're just showing off the product and just showing off the cool things that it can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, these are inverters under your solar panels, but it's more about what
Well,
it
it's more
enables
than
you to
that
do
now.
in
That's the
most
thing.
than
It's now charging your car. They got that. They have the battery system. So
yeah.
they have all of this now.
Go to the enable the share. I have their page up, and you could see. Yeah, so look on their page. It's a new day for solar. Make, use, and save. Store your own power. Okay, and then they go down. EV chargers.
Well, no, hold
Fill
on.
up at
What's the?
home.
They're playing the commercial. Let's see a little bit more of this commercial.
Well, this is not a commercial. If you built a website, this is just like a landing page.
This is stupid too. You don't need to show people in the sun and people like drinking. No, this is like, yes, these are pretty shots. First of all, I agree, but I don't know. The app is
Yes,
cool.
but
Okay.
look. So in their defense, the research shows anything. YouTube, the human face is the most
Yeah, but you
powerful
can have the
evocative
human
image.
face like we just talked about. They're in their house. They're putting the kid to bed. They turn up the thermostat. They're blasting heat. Everything's great. Lights are all on. You go outside, total pitch darkness. Enphase.
And they don't. Yeah.
Enphase. Protect your home. Buy your power forever. Don't trust the electric companies. Imagine they go after the electric. Don't trust the electric companies. That should be the
like
campaign.
Enphase, we never sleep so that you can. Come up with a cool
Whatever.
little tagline.
I mean, if we can do that in 2 minutes, I know that woman could do a better job, obviously.
Fill up at home or on the go.
EV charging, all this. Okay, so anyway, that's our Enphase rant. They have to do better. We'll see if there's any last words by anybody about this.
Enphase in the real world, customer stories.
It's early. Johnny said it is early.
That's what I want to see. The overhead. I want to see the overhead of the installs.
I don't know what the metaverse has to do with anything. Dex,
say what?
Dex brings up the metaverse won't happen. Okay, we're talking about Enphase.
Okay. I think they're just trolling.
Yeah. Okay, play the sound. No. We'll do that next time. Okay, let's move on to Tesla.
What on Enphase?
We're only doing an hour live stream.
Yeah.
So, everybody can go enjoy tonight besides listening to us.
Tesla absolutely smashed. Right. Smashed. I think that there's been a lot of talk this week. I even see it on Twitter about whether or not this is like real or is this fake? Is this pump? I just think get ready for some crazy volatility. This reminds me so much of January of 2020. Do you remember that? When it went, this is all pre-split. It went, I forgot, it shot up to like $980 something a share.
And we didn't sell. I just want to I'll admit that,
I didn't sell either.
Yeah, but at a trillion market cap, honestly.
It wasn't at a trillion back then.
No, when it got up to a trillion.
Oh, when it got up to a trillion. Yeah.
Like I'm going back over, my investment horizon. Like when I first bought Tesla at $40 billion, if someone told me it hit a trillion, I think I would have said, of course I'm going to sell it a trillion.
But then the greed, and then the greed when you're like, but what about 2 trillion?
Yeah, doesn't that sound better than 1 trillion? So it's a lesson learned that you always got to take some off the top, and I'm glad I did that for Enphase. I'm glad I'm doing that for other stocks too, but I don't know why I didn't do that for Tesla. Obviously, we're sort of have the Elon Musk halo around us that we think everything is always peachy and he's going to save us. But honestly, at $1 trillion, I feel bad about not taking a little bit off the top.
I agree. I just think that I didn't participate too much in the 2008 recovery. I did a little bit, but I didn't really participate in that. I wasn't following markets the way I did. Had I have been following markets like that, you know that when you see a run up like that, it's not getting back to even fair value. It's way overblown. Like it's now obvious that that was in a bubble of its own. Even you know what I think it is? I think it's our knowledge of what Tesla really is as a company makes you realize that, oh no, that's not overvalued. We think they're going to be the most valuable company in 10 years, right? So at $1 trillion, it's still undervalued. It's still
true, but now we got to wait 10 years.
Now you got to wait 10 years, right? So no,
that's the mistake we made.
yeah. But I mean, I've already, I had the talks with my wife. I don't know if you had those talks, but I'm like, listen, these are the price points. We got to start selling some of this.
Well, I'm divorced now, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. When Enphase hit 300, you're like, you know what?
No. When Tesla went to 1 trillion, when Tesla went to 1 trillion, I didn't sell. She left. She's like, all right, you obviously don't know what you're doing.
Right. And she wanted, because didn't you say you wanted to buy Netflix before earnings?
Actually, and Netflix did really well from the bottom when we were talking.
This time, but that whole.
No, but when we were talking at 150 and everybody was saying the sky was falling, that Netflix is going to be worth shit. It quickly doubled. We wait another month.
The tanking that it took to get it there when they lost the 200 million subscribers, like after the pandemic. Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah. So to be clear, I'm still a believer in Tesla, and I think it's going to be way past 1 trillion, but it's not based on the car business. I think right now, when we had the opportunity to take the profits, it was based on this market ran up on the car business. That's what it ran up on, nothing else. And that was an opportunity to take a lot of profits, and we didn't. So now we are just betting on what we always bet on, which is that energy is a real thing, that FSD is going to happen. So these things are going to work out. I do want to share a chart. I don't know. Is anybody saying anything interesting before we continue?
No, they're just asking what they think a fair PE is for Tesla. It's currently at 55. New day for solar panels. We're still early.
I think in this market, it just had a massive run up. I'm no longer as interested in DCAing right now. So I'm not saying Tesla. Yeah, I'm not saying I won't buy any shares because I've actually been buying other shares for my kids too. So slowly I've been accumulating, by the way, at 105, 110, 115, but not for me personally. It was actually for my kids. So I don't put that into Discord trades because that's for them. But for me, I was actually hoping that we would stick around the $100 price point a little bit longer because we didn't, of course. And now we're at 180. So
I'll tell you what, though, I think we're coming right back down.
Back to 100?
Maybe not 100, but I think 120.
Possible. Why don't I share the chart and we talk about this?
Let's look at the chart because I want to see, like, there's basically there's no resistance, I think, between now and $200 a share. But I don't know. I don't know that it's going to see how I don't know that it's not going to retrace them. I just think like Tesla real on the stock market is acting like a crypto. It's almost acting like an altcoin.
Okay.
But let me ask you this.
Am I sharing, by the way? You see it, right?
Yeah, I see it. Let me before you go, let me just ask you, do you feel like I've been feeling this, so I'm curious what you think. Do you feel like there's just never been this much of a disconnect between in other words, like the markets being as short-sighted as they are right now than they've ever been in history?
For
like
Tesla, who are you talking
just
about?
Just in general. I'm saying just markets in general.
No, I don't think so. No.
I've never seen markets being this short-sighted. Like usually it's maybe a 2 or 3 quarter horizon. Now it's like weeks, days. I really feel like just the markets are trading now.
Well, no. Yeah, it's very volatile. But if you're looking at the P's, and I think one of the questions was, is Tesla valued fairly at 55 P?
Right.
Once again, like we're in a weird time where that could be too expensive. Do you know what I'm saying? So if they're growing at 37%, because I think it wasn't 40%, they actually grew 37.8 or whatever it was. The last figure.
37.8, 37.8. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm
for revenue, right?
37.8 would be their growth if they hit 1.8 million vehicles this year.
No. In 2022, they grew 37% revenue.
I thought it was over 40, man.
No, I think it's 37%. But anyway, so if it's around 37, and I keep going back to the Peter Lynch thing where he says, if it's growing 40% and it's a 40 PE, I just use it as a base.
Right.
then it's sort of fair value. At 55, is it a fair value if they're still growing at, 40%? I don't know. I mean, meaning I'm not selling my shares. That's not happening. And we're talking about the short term. The short term, that might not be fair value. But we know other things are happening in the background. So I keep going back to that. If energy wasn't growing at 90% plus, or whatever it's growing at right now, plus their insurance business, I think they made $300 million this last year, growing at 20% per quarter.
Yep.
Battery business that they're starting right now, lithium mining that they're planning. Like, I mean, there's just so many things that, how do you value them at a 55? That's just a car business.
Yeah.
So,
and they also, they grew 60, what was it, 67%? Like their sales grew something like 67%, and the rest of the market contracted like 7%.
But let me put it this way.
It's insane. I mean, imagine that was Apple selling phones. That's literally what was happening to Motorola when Apple started selling iPhones, and then all the sales of traditional flip phones and everything just fell off the earth. This is like literally the same thing. It's that adaptation S curve. And
it's happening. I'll stop presenting for a second. I'm going big because I had a couple of newbie Tesla people sit in my car that I work with, right? And I drove them. We were working together, and I drove them in the car. And one of the guys drives a Subaru, right? The producer of the show that I'm on, he drives a Subaru. I'm like, okay,
like what about fires?
Well, no, he's like, he has no idea. He actually does not even know really what a Model Y is, which is kind of shocking in this day and age. He's like, I've heard of Tesla, of course, but I've never really looked at a Model Y or sat in one, so they have no idea. And so he's looking at the screen. I'm explaining him what it does. It does autopilot. That I don't have full self-driving. I'm showing him everything he does. And he's like, wow, this is a really nice car. And then he's like, well, how far do you get to go on it? And I go, well, it goes 300 miles, but actually 326 miles, but around 300 miles. And you're not supposed to charge it all the way. So I started explaining that. But anyway, he's like, wow, that's plenty of mileage. Like, he doesn't even know that part of it. He doesn't know that electric vehicles can go 300 miles now. And then he's like, well, how much does it cost you to actually like fill it up? The gas tank. And I go, I'll put it this way. I'll make it easy for you. I'm not going to talk kilowatt hours. It costs me under $10 anytime I fill up 300 miles in my gas tank. And
what do you say to that?
He's like, wow, holy shit. I didn't realize that is how cheap it is. Like, and then the other guy behind me, who was an assistant camera person, he's also looking at, because he's looking around the car, like all inside, and he's looking around.
Glass. Yeah, all glass up there.
Well, not only that, he's looking at he's trying to find imperfections, because he heard Teslas were imperfect. There was a bad manufacturing process for them.
Right.
So he's looking all around trying to see. And I'm like, so how does it look inside? Because you said it was like, no, he's like, it looks pretty good. Right. So I think I converted at least one of them to go buy. Not the AC. He's not making enough yet, but the producer was actually, I think he started to consider, oh, so this is what an actual electric vehicle like Tesla is. So
right, in 2020, most people think back to like a hybrid. When they think electric vehicle, they think
they don't have the real sense of what's going on with electric. He's like, how do you charge it? Like, where do you actually plug in? Like, besides home, is there any place to go? Like, he doesn't even really know there's a supercharging network, and that there's other companies like Electrify America and whatever. Like, what are the other ones called? Charge Point and whatever. He has no idea about any of those.
Blink, all that stuff. That could be regional. That could be just because you're on the East Coast, and in general, like EV solar is taking slower to adopt just because of the climate. Like out here in California.
Yeah, but doesn't that show you where we are in this adoption curve?
Oh, yeah. What did they? I think their total market share now is what, 3% maybe? Or they might have cracked 3%.
Well, it's 5% of EVs, but let's say someone came up to you and said, oh, wow, like, hold on. What is this thing you're holding in your hand?
Yeah, you'd be
what does it do?
You think it was Captain America, like some dude.
No, it'd be like, what does that do? Like, how come it's so big? And what are these things on the back? That's what he was asking me, questions that are basic to me and you, and probably everybody listening to this, but he was totally flabbergasted by like, oh, wow, this is a really nice car. Like, he really did not understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you should buy one.
But this is part of, like, just going back to the question about the fair PE. This is the part about where, like, our knowledge of the company makes it hard to calculate, like, say what that fair PE would be. Because just because the numbers all line up, it does not mean that the Wall Street investors, the institutional investors, and the whales, that they get it. And there's no way we're getting to $10 trillion on retail. So we need these people to get it. So the question is, how long is it going to take, or what's the metric that Tesla needs to hit for them to get it? And that's the gamble. That's the bet that you're making. And I think this is why people get discouraged when you buy something like Tesla. Like for example, their last earnings, it wasn't that bad of a miss. It was like, what, 2% miss, but the stock just cratered. But if you know the company, you would have compared it to, say, Legacy Auto. Like they compare Tesla to themselves. They don't compare Tesla to the rest of the auto industry. If they did, it would be a no-brainer. We'd be over $250. So just because the metrics line up and everything seems to be correct, even if we say fair value is 60 PE, 70 PE, it does not mean that Wall Street's going to follow. And so that's why I was asking that question about this incredible disconnect that it seems like Wall Street's disconnect, or even analysts' expectations based on what we know, just seem, I've never seen them this disconnected before, and that the investment time horizon be so short.
Let's see if there's any questions. Johnny Boy actually says I have more Palantir than Tesla. Wow, really sad, Johnny. I'm sorry for you.
So sorry for you.
What do you think is a fair PE for Enphase? Oh, interesting. Let me see. What is the current PE for Enphase?
Let's look it up.
I actually don't know what it is right now.
What percentage of the car market share do you think is a realistic long-term for La Tesla?
Minimum 10%.
Long-term market share? I think 20.
Well, I said minimum 10%.
Yeah, minimum 10%, but I think 20. And I mean, if you're saying the overall market, they're still going to sell ICE vehicles, but I can see 20% easy, which would say that we've got, if we're at 1 or 2%, you have at least a 10x from here.
Just to show this real quick, Enphase, then we'll go back to Tesla. But you see this, right?
Yeah. Make it a little bigger.
Is that good?
Yeah. Okay. They're at 45.
So, I mean, like, is it sort of good to DCA in right now? I actually think Enphase is okay to DCA. I could be totally, look, it could totally go down. That's the thing. I'm expecting it to go down to, I don't know, 180, 160. And I have buys all the way down, but I am starting to DCA after under $200. And I moved my target down. If you remember, I was actually going to buy, I had buys at 220, right?
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing how the market is reacting, I was like, I'm being a little bit too aggressive. I think this might go back to trend. And let me just show trend real quick too. How do I switch?
Call me crazy, but I do get a hunch that something's going to happen in Enphase stock soon.
You mean tank
for the negative? Yeah, in the negative. Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be. Again, this is all just my own speculation. I have a feeling that Enphase stock is going to. Enphase stock was too bulletproof. Too bulletproof. Something's brewing, and I think we're going to see some pressure on the stock. And maybe
we'll go back to Tesla in a second. But here, I want to show my chart that I've been tracking for a long time. At this point, you could go back in the channel. We've been tracking it for a long time.
Yeah, this is years.
Yeah. So here we are. This is the channel we are currently in Enphase, right?
It's funny. Enphase's chart looks like the Bitcoin rainbow chart.
Yeah, almost.
I'm serious. It's starting to make that pivot where it's not the exponential growth and it's starting to level off.
Well, it definitely leveled off. Like, this is a new channel because the previous channel that I had drawn was way more bullish and it left that channel. Now it's in this particular channel on screen where the blue lines that I'm having, on top of these, obviously that's the bigger channel it's in, and the red is where it likes to hang out more than anything. So we are now at the point where I consider DCAing, even if it drops. By the way, it could totally drop back to this line and just have a triple bottom here. Well, here's one is what it broke through, touched it, almost touched it. And if it holds here again, I don't think we'll ever see sub 100. That's my bet, that we'll never see sub 100 if it touches here. Look, it could totally break down. And if Enphase comes out with terrible numbers, this could totally happen. And the rates are now expensive. We know that, right? So meaning like the cost of
financing, the financing for solar is more expensive.
So interim, anything can happen, honestly. But the long-term growth of Enphase, I don't think anything is stopping. I'm very bullish on this. In fact, I don't mind it touching these lower regions, and I want to keep dollar cost averaging. And I already have a pretty damn good position, so I don't need to dollar cost average. But at under $200, I am definitely going to be dollar cost averaging, especially for a company. If you see here, by the way, this is the company metrics. They beat earnings all the time. Yep. And market capitalization is $28 billion.
So tiny.
Well, this is important for me, that if this was now $1 trillion company, I think now I've learned my lesson from Tesla. I would sell out a lot of freaking Enphase at $1 trillion. Even earlier, I would probably sell a lot out. But at $28 billion, I don't feel like I've gotten my enough. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't get enough out of it yet.
Zhuzh.
Yeah, it only bought me one pool so far.
Can you zoom out? I want to see the full chart. Just that full chart, that first channel that it was in.
Okay, well, I erased the first channel, but
Right. But that first channel, how many years was that before we saw that pivot?
So this was the channel I drew a long time ago, by the way. This one right here. I just erased it because there's no reason to keep it,
Right.
obviously, because it's done.
But how many years was that?
It was all the way from 2017 to, and it ended its reign at roughly 2021. So 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
So I mean, oops, I just moved that. I didn't want to move that. But basically, you got a picture. If we are still in this bullish channel for a while, even if it's moving at this rate, which you think is slow, I have these lines here. As you can see, 2024, somewhere in the middle is around $350, somewhere there. If we look out to 2025, we are somewhere in the $486 range. And I'm sure Johnny would say, like, it should be in the thousands probably by then. But I think by 2025, if it stays here, we have an average price of around $486, somewhere there, $450. So is it a good investment? If you're only doubling your money, you know, like 200 to 400, you consider it. You think about it. I think in 2 years to double my money is a great investment. So
but
I'm happy to stay there.
I also think that just like we spoke about with Meta and with Netflix, at some point, these growth companies become value stocks. And Enphase might even offer a dividend or something at some point when they stop growing to continue. Once they're just printing money quarter over quarter and the money's coming in from the charging network and the money's coming in, at that point, it's not really about the growth story anymore. It's about how they pay us back, honestly.
Yeah, but that's going to take a while. Enphase is not going to give you a dividend for a very long time. So I would say at least 2030, you shouldn't even think about that kind of stuff.
But that's just another reason to accumulate shares, is because eventually you're going to start making a percentage. I mean, Enphase was like the piggy bank of the stock market for this like last bear market.
Oh, it was my piggy bank. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you put it was the mattress, right? You putting the money under the mattress. It's somewhat safe. We had a little bit of a run. And so, it's gotta, at some point, if it gets so big, that piggy bank thing turns into see if
there's any questions. Is there anybody who's asking anything, or
how does Enphase justify an 84 PE? Are they growing faster than Tesla? What's the PE at 200?
Well, okay. So did we say with the forward PE is only 45, by the way? So
right now, yeah.
And they're growing more than 45% per year. Can that slow down in 2023? This is what we're talking about. Yes, it can slow down in 2023, but I mean, like, still, it seems fairly valued at under $200. So I'm buying it under $200. And Michael says Enphase is a great buy for the next few years. I agree with that. And once again, I said at 330, do not buy Enphase. I said it 1,000 times at this point. At under $200, it might still be a little bit overvalued. Fine, but what is your downside? I don't know. Let's say it even goes to $100. Don't you want to buy more? So I don't find any problem with it for a stock that I think is worth more than $200 for me buying under. That's just my point, that I know I'm just going to dollar cost average this. And if I lose money in the interim, meaning it goes down to 150, 140, 130, and I think Chris said he's not touching this from Finance Junkies. He's not touching this till it's $125. If he gets it, I hope he buys it. I hope he buys a lot of calls. I hope he buys a lot of stock because he's going to make a lot of money. But that's a bad, when people try to time all these bottoms, it's kind of amazing, right? Everybody tried to time Tesla like under 100, right?
Yeah.
What happens?
101.
And I tried to time a Meta under $83. I wanted 75, like that was my buy or something. Like, big deal. It went straight to 140. Like, okay, so you missed out on a 10% downside, 20% downside.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's my opinion on it. So you just keep buying quality, including Tesla.
But it's so easy. We were guilty of this on the sell side. It's so easy to think that there's a little bit more juice to squeeze out of the lemon. On both sides, right? You want to get a better price. There's something that feels good about getting a good price or getting close to the bottom. But man,
I want to point out that's why I was actually buying Tesla on the way down. I did buy it at the lows of 105. I did get it at that price.
Nice.
I didn't go all in at 105. Because you never know. Obviously, it can go to 80. Who knows? But I was buying it all the way down.
Price target was $90.
Oh, I didn't even know that was 90. I should have definitely bought 105 a
I think it was
lot.
insane. I think his price tag, but no, his price tag might have actually been $60. Excuse me.
Yeah, if it was 90, then that's we're right at the bottom then.
Dylan says he sold Enphase at the top, but then bought Tesla at the top. It's like, no, that's a Homer Simpson move.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. When everything is pumping, right? So, like all of these
And when
growth
everything's
stocks.
tanking, right?
And today's rally, if we talk about the rally for a minute, I thought it was sort of a BS rally because if you look at it, the shit stocks went up again. Once again,
Would you stop talking about Palantir like
I
that?
was talking about Palantir. I was actually talking about them.
But they're working with Amazon now, so
I have a watch list of a lot of stocks that I keep track that are also
yeah,
speculative.
and it was all
right?
green. I know.
I
and
mean,
you're like, wait a
look, when
minute.
lemonade goes up, you know you have to like sell into the rally. Okay, when it doesn't make any sense for some of these companies to be going up at all. But that's the market. You know, it fluctuates. And in fact, I like Benjamin Cowan, the guy who does Into the Cryptoverse.
Yeah, he's so level-headed, dude.
Yeah, but he says this. He goes in the market, most of the time in a bear market, the stocks are moving up. So meaning you can have a bear market, but 70% of the time the stocks actually move up because it takes time for it to go up, but it takes the elevator down very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Let's go to the Tesla chart just to at least end off the Tesla thing.
Even before it, Nate says in the chat, he's like, the Lucid pump was ridiculous. That is a canary, right? That is like a clear sign. This company's probably going to be bankrupt. And that stock was up. I don't even know how much it was up today. Like over 10%.
It was up. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these stocks. Let me just quickly check. What was Lucid up?
But that's to me, that's clearly
right?
that's clearly people thinking, oh man, Tesla or
what oh my god. Okay, here,
tide?
let me share this.
Yeah, the
I'll remove
Saudi
this.
pump.
I'll remove this. Hold on.
The Saudis are now going to buy Lucid. It's funny when the Saudis invested in
Okay,
Twitter,
you see this? You see this? Oh my god.
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean they're going to go bankrupt,
dude. They're at $23 billion. They're $5 billion away from Enphase. Think about that. This is a company that's going to be bankrupt.
Well, this is what's funny because now, if you talk about, would you rather dump 10,000 into
fair valued? Right? Is Enphase fair value?
Well, would you rather dump 10,000 into Lucid, who fell 90%, or would you rather dump 10,000 into Enphase, which is growing their revenue, still has taken a big hit, like 40% down? I mean, it's like a no-brainer to me. I don't know why people are speculating on this garbage. I have no idea.
Like Lucid? Yeah. I mean, Investment Club saying I bought a Lucid put today, expires January 24. That's a smart move. I mean, I think that's I would rather buy other stocks that I believe in. But
that's too short term, that put. So he can be wrong he can be right in his
long term. They got to report how few vehicles. They're going to lower their guidance for the year. They're going to run into problems this year.
I think it's over for them. By next year, I think Lucid is gone. Unless they get bailed out and go private, like Twitter was, basically. The last thing let's share, just we didn't do this fully yet, but the Tesla chart. And so to your point, what you said, it could possibly go down. I've had this sort of trend going for a while where I thought the bottom could possibly be $64. I know that sounds crazy, but this is the channel I had in. But not to buy a lot at this crazy point. I don't know. Like, it's like, once again, people get too scared and we're not sure when to go in exactly, but not to put in a good chunk of money. Not all of it, but a good chunk of money at the $100 level. Yeah. I don't know if that was a smart move.
Let me just go back in time. The last time Tesla was at that price was May, June, July. It was like July of 2020.
The last time was right here. July 2020, right?
Right. So July 2020. Think about what's happened since July 2020. And you're getting to buy it at the same price that it was back then. Think about if you could go, this is what I understand. Like, if you could go back in time and buy your house 4 years before you actually bought your house, there's a good chance that you would have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't understand why, when it's a stock, people have that aversion to buy it, especially when it's at a price that is several years old. It's especially with the trajectory that a company like this has, it just doesn't make any sense. Although that RSI is pumping.
Well, so if the question, we can't go back in time. So I do want to point out one thing that is very negative for Tesla right now. They can pump all the way up to this trend line, which is around $276. And dude, it might happen. Who knows? And then go right back down to around like 130. by the
Well, look,
way.
if you go like a month out, and that trend line that you have tracking
Yeah.
the peaks, the subsequent peaks, even that is that's 260.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like if you go
270.
out,
Yeah.
if you go out like let's say we stay in a bullish environment.
Mhm.
Let's say that happens for Tesla. I don't know if it will. I actually doubt it. But let's say we stay there. It goes $270. The Bears are going to think they're just totally. I think it's crushing the Bears. The Bulls think they're in charge, but then I don't think it's going to hold us. Honestly, I don't think it's going over 270. And I think we have a good chance. I don't know about retracing all the way down, but 130 seems like it's another possibility. So
It's quite possible. A lot of it
yeah.
depends. A lot of it depends on what they announce on the first, that investor day. That's
Yep.
going to be big. If they listen, if they announce a single piece casting robo taxi vehicle,
Boom.
this idea
Boom.
like Tesla. Yeah, this would
Let's see when that is.
solve this would just put a it would
Oh, look
put
at
the
this.
kibosh.
I'm gonna draw this here. So the line. So make sure you see it. But what day is that? March what?
March 14th.
Okay.
March
So
15th.
somewhere around here. Imagine, well, if somewhere around here, if we're trading in let's say the 200s,
Yeah.
and Tesla does announce what you're saying, and they do something crazy, it's possible that this breaks free. It's
That's what I'm
possible.
saying. If they announce a
Would I bet on
dedicated
it?
robo taxi vehicle that's a single piece casting, right? Because now most of them, all the other vehicles are two piece casting. It will solidify that Tesla is serious about FSD. And in the same way that they put the pricing, them lowering the prices put pricing pressure on the other companies, right?
Yeah.
If they announce that they have a dedicated robotaxi vehicle coming out, all these other companies, like I even posted that the whole Mars catalog posted that video of Mercedes Level 3 driving. It's laughable.
Yeah.
It could have the same effect, and that's essentially how Tesla wins this. And then you have to ask yourself,
but you're being too bullish. I just want to you're being too bullish because you're thinking everything will happen in March.
No, I'm not saying it'll happen in March.
I think we have this whole time, by the way. I think Tesla's in a range. I'm just going to make it flat out. We're between this price and that price, and we're going to continue bouncing around until we break out or fall down.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but the other thing is they're not in a vacuum. Other companies are going to have to report their earnings. GM is not going to sell that many vehicles. Ford's not going to sell as many. At some point, the market's going to start to compare them apples to apples and just see how far ahead Tesla is. And then what happens if Lucid does have trouble this year? Arcimoto looks like it's going to go bankrupt this year, right? So
definitely.
Arcimoto goes bankrupt this year. Lucid has problems this year. Aptera, Solo, like all these other little players. What happens when they start going back? I mean, that becomes the news. Well, then you say, man, it really is hard to make a profitable EV company.
I think everybody gets that now, and that's why also
there's a guy who didn't even know what a Model Y was. And you know what I mean? So the market doesn't get that.
Well, I once again, I don't know. The market is also a bunch of smart institutional players who are gaming the system a bit. They sort of know what's happening, but they're not going to value Tesla on these other businesses. So if we know that they're not going to value it on the energy business and the FSD business, we know that. So I think the market I think it likes the volatility. Like how much money do those a-holes make?
You make
between 400 and 100, they're making money up and down while me and you sit and wait for the stock to explode to 2 trillion.
Right.
So Chris was right. We got to buy the puts
and the spreads. we will be talking about this Sunday. He's going to give
all right. Anyway, I'm still a Tesla bull. I'm just saying in the interim, I don't think we're going
You're like a one horn
bull.
He's a unibull, a unicorn bull.
A uniball bull.
One little horn. No, I mean you're obviously bullish on Tesla.
Yeah. All the businesses themselves, but we got to give them time. So like the energy business probably needs a good 3-4 years to really show massive growth, right? Like they're growing, of course, but I mean where they're substantial to the amount of revenue Tesla makes on cars. So right now it's 4%. I think we need to get over like 15-20%. And at that point, Wall Street's like, well, obviously we have to price this in. Like
they need to start getting some more takers on the FSD. Because that effectively doubles their margin. I mean, their average sale price has come down since 2017, yet their margins on it has gone up. Even with this, now they're making what, 10,000, 15,000.
Yeah, but once again, you're betting on long shots by saying we want FSD. I don't know when that's coming. I know the energy business is growing 90% plus. I don't need to bet on FSD. Why do I need to bet on that? I want it to happen.
I'm not saying you need to bet it. I'm saying these are the things that start to become part of the mainstream narrative. Like for years, even in 2020, just even having Tesla be seen as a legitimate player in the space and not some joke of a company took a long time. And then suddenly
over a decade.
It just wasn't then suddenly it just wasn't an issue. It wasn't a question anymore. The idea
Right.
of the competition is coming. The idea of like they only make their money on EV tax credits. No one's saying that anymore. Like whatever the big bear cases are, just one day they just stop being a bear case.
Well, yeah, it's funny. The bear case now that Gordon Johnson would spout was basically there is no demand. That you see it's drying up.
Yeah,
like that.
Before it was
prices,
their
the
sales
margins,
peaked in 2018. The competition is coming. They only
Right.
make their money on EV tax credits. Now you don't even hear that anymore. It's
No,
a new
yeah, that's all out the window. The narrative changes for the way he wants to perceive it, obviously.
Exactly. So the bear case keeps getting this increasingly smaller and smaller corner till eventually the it's undeniable. And at that point, you know, when your buddy in Jersey buys a Tesla, it's over. You know.
Yeah.
We got
I think we're gonna wrap this up. Let's look at some questions. If there's any, you want to check those out, see if anything's going on.
Yeah, the market. AT&T has been doing great lately. Mark Brunswick.
We're not going into AT&T.
New money in the bank. Is that new money?
We're not going into AT&T.
Well, listen. What's the bull case for Enphase? I know.
You should just go to a million of our videos. How about
Investment Club. They don't make solar panels. There's a lot of.
They do not do that.
Go on our channel and go to the Enphase playlist.
You're gonna, and I'm not saying that to be an a-hole about it, but yeah, go check. We actually have like, I don't know, 20 videos, 30 videos for 3 years. Why Enphase is gonna win. Yes, you got homework.
You saying I got homework to do that? That's great.
Not trying to be an a-hole, but we've discussed this at length.
Right, and I think almost everyone else is like sick of it. of us talking about this company.
They don't make panels. Dylan said that. Yes, they make microinverters. Smart system. They're going to be selling energy. They're making batteries. They're doing chargers. Damn it! I gave you Investment Club what you wanted.
God damn it. Well, okay, we do got to call this quits. I want to say thanks everybody for watching. For my birthday, I want to hit 3,000 subs. We've been slacking on the videos. I was literally going to release one.
We have like 5 videos in the can.
Just waiting to come out. I am going to head out today for a small birthday dinner. Come back. I'm going to post those 4 videos that we have in the bank, then the one from last week, and then you've got one coming out. We're gonna get back on the train.
And we have a nasty Palantir video. So I'm fair warning to everyone listening. Nasty ass Palantir video coming out.
Yes.
That the Palantir haters will love. And that we
love and
making.
if Amit does a response video to that, we will follow it with a response to the response.
Right.
So we're not above that. We're not above fighting.
No, I'm fine putting it out there because you know what? I don't want the Palantir community.
Well, they didn't want us. We tried to come in and just ask some questions, and I got banned from several Palantir forums. So I'm like, hey, you know what, man? I'm going to tell you what I really think now.
Yeah. We'll have a video. We'll talk about it. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we have a Discord. Whoever's not on Discord, please join us. It's free. You just got to click somewhere. Maybe not here in this video yet, but look any other video. We have links right below.
Click like, subscribe. See you later.
Bye.